Male midlife crisis. It's been the focus of many comedies, both on and off screen. But if your husband's experiencing it, you probably don't find it amusing. But understanding what he's going through and how to support him might help. So here, with some insight on male midlife crisis, is psychologist Dr. Alan Geddes, the author of The Happiness Solution, Finding Joy and Meaning in an Upside-Down World. Hi, Doctor. How are
Tracy.
you?
Very good, thank you. It's nice to be here.
Great to have you.
Thanks.
This is an important topic.
Very.
Male midlife crisis. Yikes. Very, very scary sometimes.
Can be.
For both men and women.
Definitely. Yeah.
Now, what would you say, like the midlife crisis, it's often referred to as male menopause. It's not really the same as...
It's not.
Okay.
A male midlife crisis is more of an attempt to answer the question, what do I do with the rest of my life? So whereas a woman goes through menopause, which is definitely rooted in biology, has hormonal changes that are quantifiable, with the man, the issues are emotional.
Okay.
You know, they have to do with aging, they have to do with the physiology of aging, but they're not biological in the same sense that a woman's is. It's much more of an emotional issue.
And psychological.
Yeah.
Everything that's going on with the mind.
Everything.
Really?
Yeah, tremendous confusion, and although there's the biology of aging, it doesn't really have to do with hormonal changes.
Okay. Wow. Oh my goodness. Okay. So what things often precipitate someone going into this crisis mode?
Well, sometimes it's a feeling of aging in a society that's really consumed with youth.
Sure.
You know, everything now in our culture is about anti-aging.
You're so right.
So in our society we have some birthdays that are kind of magical.
Right.
The big 4-0, the big 5-0.
Big 5-0.
Yeah, and we think about these and all the paraphernalia associated with these birthdays are over the hill.
You're done.
That's it.
That's it. 50 and your life is over.
Exactly. So it's a big joke, but it really has very serious ramifications and stimulates the man to think about where he's been, where he's going, and what the rest of his life is going to be about.
Okay.
So it's really a consciousness of aging and death that's creeping in, and he wants, if anything, to return back
to the youth.
Yeah. So it's you know, it's a biological issue in some ways, but much more psychological. Yeah.
Okay. Now you say there's some things that can catapult these men into crisis, like situations in their life that kind of force that to happen. Can you embellish on that a little bit?
Well, certainly a serious illness.
Okay.
If a man's beginning to feel vulnerable because his body is breaking down, he's had his first heart attack.
Got it.
Any kind of a serious illness, or the death of a parent. But even more likely than that, the death of someone roughly his own age.
Right, because then you start to think,
oh yeah,
this could have been me.
Sure, if it hits a sibling, if it hits a friend, a colleague, you do start to say, am I next?
Right.
And it brings that mortality issue very close to home.
Into play.
Oh, yeah.
Now, is there a common age range that this kind of happens in men, or is it different?
I think for most men it's about 35 to 55. It's quite a wide range.
Okay, but 35, that young?
That young.
Okay.
And even for a few people, a small percentage, it's going to be earlier than that, because 30 is such a magical number in our society. And for a select few, it might be later than 55, but the overwhelming bulk of the people will fall in that range, 35 to 55.
All right. And the good news is that the majority of men really don't suffer this. It's a small percentage.
That is the good news.
That is the good news.
That is, yeah. Roughly, studies have shown about 20 to 25% of men will undergo a pretty serious midlife crisis. That doesn't mean the other 75% will not have midlife issues. They probably will to some degree, but they'll be able to resolve them
and deal with things.
Yeah, in a way that's really not destructive to the integrity of the marriage.
So about only 20 to 25% are going through the massive crisis.
Yes.
Okay, well that's really encouraging to know. At least there's 75% to 80% that are not going to go through that.
So every
deal with
4 men that you look at, 3 of them are okay.
Right, that's good to know. Instead of the reverse.
Right.
Where there'd be only one. That would not be good. That's great. Now, what about specific warning signs? Are there any warning signs that I would watch out for if I'm the mate of that person to to know that
I
they're
think if you
heading
sense,
that way?
yeah, if you sense in your mate this, is that all there is attitude.
Okay.
You might find life all of a sudden boring, devoid of meaning.
Got it. He might even say that. Is that all there is?
Yes,
kind of thing.
exactly.
Okay.
So that's a definite warning sign.
Okay.
Another warning sign is that if he's starting to pay less attention to you, he's not interested in being in your company as much.
Okay.
And maybe he's not interested in you sexually to the degree that he usually has been.
Okay.
So that's a warning sign.
Okay.
And if you combine that with his spending an excessive amount of time on the internet, that may be a sign that he's thinking of having an affair.
Okay, right, because
all
all the internet things that are available these days.
Yes. On top of that, if you notice that he's made any dramatic changes in his appearance, a new hairstyle, he starts to work out a little bit more, a whole new wardrobe.
Oh dear.
That means he may
it could already be happening.
Yes.
Not good.
Not good. And especially if you combine that with maybe his whereabouts are unaccounted for lengths of time. That's another good one.
Because, if you're used to seeing them, hearing from them all the time, and all of a sudden they're disappearing, or they have bad explanations for certain things, or they're out late and they're normally not out late. Be suspicious.
Yeah.
It's okay to be suspicious.
It is.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's good information. Thank you for that. And then what about, what is he looking for? What is the problem? Is there something going on in his mind, aside from, is that all there is?
Yeah, I mean, he's looking for something that's the antithesis of aging.
Okay.
He's looking for youth.
So it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the woman. It's all about him.
Yeah, he wants vitality, he wants adventure, he wants excitement.
Go back.
He wants to go back because he's scared of going ahead.
Got it. Now, what should a woman do or not do? If my husband is in this situation, I mean, obviously it doesn't seem like I can really do much about it. What do I do?
Well, you really can't do much about it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, you can't solve the crisis for him.
You can't.
No. And you really can't do anything to even hurry it along.
You can't.
What you can do is make sure that you don't think it's your fault.
Number one.
Yes, don't think it's your fault and that he's doing what he's doing or feeling what he's feeling because of you.
Right, okay.
This is his crisis.
Nothing to do with you.
No.
Well, that's very, it's confident booster for the women, at least to know, okay, it's not really me. It's his issue.
You can't take responsibility for his crisis and you can't cure it.
Excellent.
He's going to have to go through this. What you can do is try to let him know you're going to be there for him, that he can talk to you, and maybe you can also give him pushes in the direction of changing his life in a more constructive way.
In a healthier way.
Sure, if he wants adventure, if he wants excitement, if he wants to have an impact on the world, there are very positive and healthy ways to do that.
Right, okay, good.
And even if you encouraged him to join something, to take a course, learn something new, join a hiking group, volunteer, these are all ways of getting him to go in a direction where he's no longer feeling his life is stale, and he's reaching out.
Okay. Now, real quickly, we're actually even running out of time already. What are some of the things that men can do to avoid getting into this crisis, to be proactive?
They can learn to express their feelings and try to trust their mate or a good friend, because what they're going through is normal.
So really start communicating here for these guys.
There are so many conflictual thoughts and feelings at midlife. It's important for the man who doesn't have a lot of experience in this in communicating that. The other thing that it's real important is for him to get in good shape. Work out.
Physically.
Yeah, because that's going to help him feel younger, more vital, and age better.
And better shape, better mind, everything.
It all goes along.
It's a win-win.
Physical fitness, mental fitness, more stamina, endurance, flexibility. He'll feel younger, better.
Great, perfect. And you also say therapy is another great way to really start breaking these things down.
Yeah, I think therapy can prevent a midlife crisis from going full-fledged and help the man make better decisions.
To go into a positive way.
Definitely.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Good. Doctor, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate you being here.
It was fun. Thanks.
Great.